Today, the Supreme Court ruled on its first abortion case since Donald Trump's two appointed justices joined the court. Women's reproductive rights survived this Supreme Court challenge because of a decisive surprise vote cast by Chief Justice John Roberts, striking down a Louisiana law that would have put what the court found were undue burdens on doctors who perform abortions in Louisiana. The majority on the court found that only one of the 5 doctors in the entire state of Louisiana who actually provide abortion services would have been able to comply with the Louisiana law. Joining us now is Cecile Richards, co-founder of women's political group Supermajority and the former president of Planned Parenthood. Cecile, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It was a 5-4 survival day in the Supreme Court today. What was your reaction to the decision?
I think that's a good way of describing it, Lawrence. It was a survival decision and a surprise. But of course, this case should have never gone to the Supreme Court. This is a case that was decided 4 years ago in Texas. The exact same law was ruled unconstitutional. And so I appreciate that Justice Roberts, we won him on process, not on substance. He voted against us in that decision, but stood with us on precedents today. I think the important thing, Lawrence, is the other 2 judges, Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. Donald Trump promised that he would appoint judges that would overturn Roe versus Wade. Today, they took their first vote to do that. We hold women's rights and abortion rights by a very thin thread on this court, and this is going to be an important issue in the November elections.
Senator Susan Collins is threading a needle here, as lawyers will do in these situations. She, of course, voted for both of those confirmations, and especially Justice Kavanaugh, believing, she said publicly, that they would uphold, especially Kavanaugh, would uphold Roe versus Wade as settled law. Senator Collins issued a statement today saying, as Justice Gorsuch noted, in truth, Roe versus Wade is not even at issue here. And while Justice Kavanaugh called for additional fact-finding in this case, he gave no indication in his dissenting opinion that he supports overturning Roe. Do you think Senator Collins is being overly optimistic in her reading of these opinions?
Well, she can certainly sleep a lot easier tonight than the rest of women in this country. What she said makes absolutely no sense. These 2 justices voted against women today. They voted against abortion rights. And when you look at Brett Kavanaugh in particular, since obviously that was a very high stakes vote that she took in opposition to what women wanted in this country, not only did Brett Kavanaugh vote against women, he's been on the wrong side of the Dreamers decision. He's been on the wrong side of LGBTQ rights. These are really important confirmations. And I think women in Maine are angry. They're not going to forget. We're seeing now, of course, a historic gender gap in the presidential race. I think it's between upwards of 18 points. And this is going to be an important issue for Susan Collins in her very, very tough reelection bid. Women are not going to forget.